All right, guys, attention, 59 gamers, we are back with another installment of your favorite Dokkan Battle podcast called the Dokkan Battle Podcast. They don't pay me enough to make creative titles, so sorry. I am your host, ToonRami. Joining me this week are some of Earth's mightiest Dokkanners, starting with the international family guy himself, Talon.
What's going on, everyone? What's going on?
A guy of many gachas and many more student loans, Gale Riot.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight?
Part-time stand user and full-time Super Battle Road King, he is the Masked Ningen.
Yo, how's it going, everybody?
Star of That 70 Show and second best Venom actor of all time, Nolar.
Second best? What is this crap?
And that is not all, folks. We have a very, very special guest for today's episode. He's the man from Canada with a plan. Sorry. Tiger from Tiger Uppercut Media. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Glad to be here.
So, in case you couldn't tell, my name is ToonRami, and that wasn't Nano. But if you guys are just tuning in for the first time or have been here before, make sure you guys are subscribed so that you don't miss any of the action, because this hype train is taking off. Almost 10,000 subscribers after 1 week. Wow. Also, make sure to follow us on our official Twitch channel, 59 Gaming, for even more gaming goodness, because following this show later on tonight, our cast and crew will be taking our talents over there to play some Among Us. The storm is still going, man. The Among Us storm is still going, so make sure you guys follow. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 59Gaming1. Hopefully we'll have that handle straightened out soon. So, without further ado, everybody, welcome to the show, Episode 2. Let's begin. So, for the first topic for this week, the LR Hercule EZA finally happened. Finally. After what, 2 weeks? I think it was like 15 days or something like that. I believe September 29th was the first day that you could actually get the EZA done. So my question to all of you guys here, was it worth the wait? Was it worth the effort? And what are your general impressions on this unit? Because he is now an all types key +2 lead, 100% across the board. Causes colossal damage with a medium chance to stun, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy and raises attack and defense by 50% for 3 turns. And he has a great chance of a key +7, attack +77%, key +3 and defense +77% for 3 turns from the start of the turn. High chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack for 3 turns after receiving the attack. Attacked enemies attack -22% for 3 turns. That's a lot to take in. He looks good on paper. How do you guys feel about this unit? Let's begin, Talon. Let's start with you.
All right, so I literally just unlocked the guy and I just took him into a quick event real quick just to kind of test them out and everything like that. So initially when I saw this guy on paper, though, when we got the data downloads and everyone was still saying, you know, oh, no content celebration, all that fun stuff. Okay, first off, he's obviously better, right? I mean, compared to pre-EZA LR Hercule, nobody touched this guy. Be honest with yourself, right? But post EZA, I can easily see people using him for maybe something like the OG Super Battle Road stage and everything like that, in terms of like Majin Buu Saga and everything. But I don't see people using him that much after the initial, testing him out and everything, and maybe using him in a stage or two, because the Majin Buu Saga, just category itself is gigantic. World tournament category, still need a leader to this day. And Earthlings, while I know some people like to use it kind of as a meme team, again, most people don't use it. And Saviors, and not the greatest category. So I see people using it sometimes? Sure, absolutely. But as like a card you're going to use all the time and like, oh my gosh, he's 100% awesome and, really powerful and everything, not so much. At least that's just my personal opinion on it, though.
Matt Stingen, you are a Super Battle Road aficionado. What do you think about this unit, and how do you think that this is going to translate in future Super Battle Road endeavors?
So it's interesting because I think Super Battle Road is probably one of the only places where he's good, because almost everything in his passive only lasts for 3 turns. So once you get 3 turns in, he doesn't have any defense unless you get the 18 key super. So short events like the Super Battle Road fights are probably going to be the place that you're going to use him, well, where he's going to be the best. But then what stage is he really going to use him on? Because he doesn't fit into sort of any of the categories that you can make for a super tech team. So he would just be on like a standard 120 super tech And then, like you said, you could use him on a Majin Buu Saga team, but there's so many amazing options on that category now. Yeah, it's just a weird one for me because they have, obviously, as Talon said, he's massively improved, but I just don't see anywhere that I would use him personally. So it's a bit of a weird one, I think.
Gail, go ahead. I think you were about to say something. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna add on, like, for a starting player, I think this unit will be great, a great addition on any team, to be honest. But I think his flaws come from his conditions. Like, when you look at it on paper, like Talon said, he's good, like the key plus 7, 77%, key plus 3, and defense 77%. But everything is conditional, like it's only for 3 turns, it's a great chance. So it just adds up and it's not amazing. His super attack effects both are fantastic, especially for, you know, SBR and whatnot, but it's his passive that lets him down quite a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't easy him. I've been lazy, so I missed a few days here and there. Just gonna be completely honest. But I do agree with Ningen's point of view that he's probably pretty much made for Super Battle Road. Because generally speaking, if you're 5-7 turns into Super Battle Road, you're either eating a lot of items or you're just not going to make it through the entire event, right? So 3 turns, I think he really excels at that. The other thing that I guess you guys haven't mentioned but should consider is he probably is the good unit for the partner super for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Because the exchange one, well, if he exchanges to Buu, then you don't get that extra buff to Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? For the partner super. So he might be the one unit you bring on rotation or you bring on the team for that Super Saiyan 3 Goku to make sure he always gets that partner super. So that's probably his use case scenario to like get you through Super Battle Road in that case. But like long-term events is probably not where he excels at all, to be honest.
So I think I was among one of the first, apparently in this group, to get this guy's EZA done because I'm one of those people who's very diligent about Dokkan. Every single day, I'm going into the Zenny shop. I'm buying whatever I need just so I have more in reserve. Hey, man, I'm a responsible Dokkaner. Right? I do whatever I can to stay on top of things. And I'm a boy, my Ningen agrees. So, Tiger, we'll start with this one with you. As far as this unit getting to this point, you know, you have to spend, what, 3 million Zenny a day or something crazy like that. It's basically
9,
taking,
actually. It's 3 million per medal.
Yeah, so it's taking what it did before to the next level and really leaning in on that. I kind of feel like that speaks perfectly to the identity of Hercule because it's all about money. And it's a different way to attain an LR and attain an LR EZA. So do you think that after all of that effort, all of that time, this unit was worth having for the simple diversity factor or just, you know, his very unique skill set?
Well, the thing is, I think that, like, I do agree with you. I think it's very on brand for the unit and for the character, as far as, like, you know, costing a ton of Zenny to actually get him done. Do I think it's worth it? I mean, the thing is, like, in the end game, Zenny is not, like, super valuable. Like, at this point, most people that play for a long time have, you know, like, hundreds of millions, if not over 1 billion Zenny. So I think that's totally fine. I agree with what everyone else said. Like, overall, I think it's a good EZA. It's a huge improvement from what it used to be. Obviously, it's making him relevant once again, but there are a lot of pieces, like a lot of parts of him that I'm not a huge fan of, like the fact that it's a great chance, even though it's 70%, there's still a 30% chance that this guy doesn't get that extra key, doesn't get the extra attack, and then he's not doing much damage at all. And then he loses his, you know, key plus 3, defense plus 77% after 3 turns, which also sucks. So there is a lot of good stuff, but I don't see myself using him a ton. And in fact, I mean, I'm still missing like 20 medals because I just keep forgetting because I don't really care that much about it. You know what I mean?
It's definitely not something you think about. You really have to be on.
I was saying, like, they should give us there should be a pop-up every single day when you're able to buy more medals, because, like, I'm not going into the Zenny shop, you know, the Zenny section of the Baba shop every day, right? So I guess like, I think he's good. I like him. I like the fact that it's still like Zenny to get the medals and all that stuff, but I think he's just good, but not amazing.
The overall reception has been, I guess, generally speaking, pretty lukewarm on this unit. But this is, of course, not the first LR EZA to have happened in Dokkan. And so where do you guys think this would rank in the glorious pantheons of the previous, 5 LR EZAs? What do we have? Like SBR Gohan, SBR
7.
Goku, Zamasu. I'm trying to list them out. You guys can help me out.
Mhm.
Zamasu.
Global, we only have 3, don't we?
We have 3 on
Yes,
global right now.
we have 3 on
Gohan,
Yeah,
Super Battle Road Goku,
right.
and then EZA, the Goku Black, Tech
Prime
Super
Battle.
Saiyan Goku, Prime Battle Goku,
Yep.
right? 1000-day
Yes.
Goku.
1000-day Goku. Yeah, the one that nobody has, basically. So where
Yeah.
would you guys rank this LR amongst all of those in terms of EZAs and their boost from mediocrity to whatever this is now?
Lost.
mean,
the lowest.
Hercule was really, really, really bad before. So as far as like the jump, I mean, he might be the biggest improved, like most improved. But I think overall, like on the list of like LR EZAs, he's probably at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I can't
anyone-
deny anything with that.
Has anyone here even had a chance to run the 1000-day Goku?
Nope.
The EZA one?
I've used him as a friend.
As
I've
a
used him
friend, yeah.
As a friend? Oh, that's a keeper right there.
Yeah.
If you have a friend, that has that 1000-day Goku EZA, that's a keeper. Wow.
Yeah, I have two friends on my friend list who have 1000-day Goku EZA Rainbow
Jesus.
SA25.
2000-day Goku.
Yep.
That's mad. I just got mine yesterday.
The 1000-day.
I have
right?
another 1000 days to go for the EZA.
Yeah,
That's
I
gonna be
just
fun.
hit. I literally just hit 1500 days like last week, so I've still got to wait over
I'm
a
right
year.
around there too, man. I'm right around there too.
We've got time, bro. We've got
Is
time.
he worth the wait? Because I actually haven't used him. Like, do you guys think he's worth 2,000 days?
I
By
don't know
the
if
time you
he's
get
worth
there,
2,000
probably not.
days, but he's definitely a beast. I mean, the guy does a lot. I mean, he's pretty powerful. So, when you, I think if you're still playing at the time that you get him, yeah, he definitely is. You know, a lot of people I can see easily using him.
That's
It's
what
just
I'm saying,
getting
though,
to that
right?
2,000 days.
That's what I'm saying. Like, most people probably won't be playing this game for 2,000 days, right? Like, we're very dedicated. Obviously, I think all of us will eventually get there. But for the average player, they're not getting to 2,000 days on a gacha game.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
I mean, it also comes down to if the game also stays around that long. We don't know if something might go wrong or something, you know. So yeah, well, it's gonna be hard to see if we'll ever get there. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if you think about a player that just starts like now, let's say they started for like during the 5-year anniversary or something.
Jesus
By the
Christ.
time they get to 2,000 days, this guy's gonna be trash.
As much
like
of a
5 years in the future.
as much of a
crazy.
bummer it is to have to wait 1,000 days, this actually leads into the final segment for this topic, which is the whole variety factor. When it comes to attaining an LR unit, there's more than one way to skin a cat, basically. You can summon the unit, you can farm the unit out from an event, you could wait 1,000,000 days, or you could spend 1,000,000 Zenny. Do you guys think that they should be continuing this trend of adding more and more unique or creative ways to attain LRs? Or do you think people would just want a simple, you know what, here's the LR, you can either farm it or you can summon it and buy it? Do you guys think there should be more diversity, or do you think it's fine the way it is? Nolar, we'll start with you.
So we have friend point system, right? The Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, and then the LR androids. Time gated and Zenny gated for the Hercule. I think it's fine because it really incentivizes you to be a consistent player, and not everything is like immediate satisfaction. Like grinding a unit, yeah, it takes you like 2-3 days. You finally get it and you're done. But as it's not as fun as time gating is. It's also their means to can make you consistently log in every day, check the shop, buy it, stuff like that. So overall, I see from their business perspective, them expanding different styles of or ways to obtain LRs and EZA them. I think that's fine. Over like just from their perspective, as a hardcore player, you're just like, well, just give it to me now. I just want to play with it. I understand that perspective too, but I think it's like really good and healthy for the game overall if there's lots of different ways, because they're just trying to direct you to, hey, you need to have a lot of friend points, so you got to play the game a lot to get a lot of friend points. You need a lot of Zenny, well, either farm this event as much as you can or just play in general, and then you'll get enough Zenny to buy the medals and awaken Hercule and EZA him. So overall, I think it's a good. I don't know how else they could like incentivize you to play more, you know. But the way they've done it so far, it's been pretty good. At least that's my opinion.
I think it's. I mean, I think like I said before, it sucks that I'll never get the 1,000-day Goku, but I think from a creative standpoint, this is the best way that they could do this, because otherwise, I mean, there's this ongoing debate with gachas. Like, as soon as you understand how the game works, you can reduce it to basically 2 tasks: you summon, you play; you summon, you play. When there's more diversity, when there's more stuff going on in the mix, it's hard to just be so reductive and quantify everything in a summoning and an event. So having more ways to attain these valuable units, I feel like adds more depth to the game, and it also makes it more accessible for the other types of gamers. There's the hardcore Dokkanners, there's the whales who don't necessarily want to spend time, but they want to spend money. There's the dedicated players who don't spend money but want to spend time. There's more to give for every type of player when they have more accessible units through different means like this. I feel like this is a good thing. Even though it kind of sucks, I think it's a good thing overall. Anybody else have any thoughts on...
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, like you said, I think a way to, obviously keep people coming back is to have a variety of different ways that somebody can play a game, right? Are you a free-to-play player who's not going to summon, or not going to spend money, I should say, but you're only going to summon every now and then? And it's like, well, what do? Well, you got to give them, story events to do, events like Super Battle Road that they can beat. Or, maybe it's been some time since that event came out, and then now they can beat it because it's more, more reasonable teams can do it. So, I definitely agree with that. As long as they don't try to really time gate it like Legends level or anything, because I mean, you see that across the board half the time where, things get time gated all the time for their 50 battle things that they have to do in Legends or anything else like that. So as long as they don't time gate it that crazy, I think things will be fine. So,
all right. Well, with that, it is time to move on to everyone's favorite topic of discussion. Is this the new best TUR in Dokkan? Why am I bringing this up? Because, well, Tech Ultimate Gohan is going to be dropping on Global in a day and a half, something like that. And so obviously, that brings back the topic, right? Is it cooler? Is it Gohan? Are we crazy for even? All right, so let's just dive in. We'll start with Talon. Why is it cooler? And why is it not Gohan? Because, dude, this guy greatly raises attack and defense, causes immense damage. He's a category lead for Saviors, one of the greatest categories ever invented, and Hybrid Saiyans. And of course, his passive is just stupidly bonkers good. Attack and defense plus 140. Key plus 1 at the start of each turn up to 3. Guards against all attacks plus an additional key plus or attack plus 40. Then he transforms. He gets even better. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. This guy is crazy good. He's a solo just tank. He can take on everything. Why is Cooler better than Gohan?
Okay, so first off, 2 things I need to say first. A, when we're saying quote unquote the best guys, we do not mean that the other cards are trash or terrible. Okay, these new TURs that are coming out, these are easily in their own, whatever you want to call it, Z TUR category, or anything like that. All right, just always keep that in mind. Okay. Second is that, again, these are our own personal opinions. If you personally like one card over the other, that's totally fine. No one should be berating somebody for not liking the card that the same way they do. Okay, everyone plays this games differently and everything like that. So just always keep that in mind, because I always see people making those comments and some discussions get pretty heated. So again, keep it civil and like we're going to do. All right. So anyway, why do I personally think that Cooler is better than Gohan, in my opinion? Okay. First off, Cooler allows for more diverse gameplay for my personal style of play. All right. I like being able to run different teams. I like being able to run different types of characters, both super and extreme. And Cooler supports one of the best teams in the entire game, which is the transformation boost category. All right. Now, it's not just the simple fact that he has the ability to support them. Okay. Everyone thinks that Cooler is a weak or something like that. Pre-transformation, this guy, when you have his links leveled up, is hitting 3 million attack stat. No problem. And I fail to see in a world in today where a 3 million attack stat is bad and his defense is still pretty solid. And by the way, as something like Super Battle Road, he is going to lower the enemy's attack, which is still really useful. Now, is he going to be tanking as good as Gohan? No, it's pretty clear that Gohan is the ultimate tank. That's not even a competition. Okay. But then on the other side of that, if I'm running something where I have a Maybe I got some super guys on one rotation, and I've got SCR Cooler on the other rotation with Physical Cooler, which, by the way, he is going to begin his EZA sometime, and that's going to be a crazy ass rotation right there. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but I had to say it. But when you transform Cooler, he's not weak. He auto crits against 70% of the entire game, just facing off against them and everything like that. So if you transform him, he's stacking attack and he's hitting really well. Oh, and not to mention, he gets auto additional, and that can become a super attack. And if you throw some additionals into him, that can be triple super attacks right there. And the dude does some amazing stuff. All right. So again, Gohan is a super awesome card. If you need Gohan just to be your one-man army and everything like that, he's the man for the job. He's the one you summon for. Plus, not to mention that Majin Buu Saga is an amazing category now, obviously with the new LRs and everything like that. So if you need Gohan for that, then yeah, obviously I'm going to say go for Gohan for you. But for me personally, I'm still saying that Cooler is, because he just does more than, hey, a guy does attack and defense, and that's it. Not to mention, Saviors is kind of an amp category. So it is what it is. But anyway, that's why I personally say that. So let me hear your thoughts, guys. Why do you think either Gohan or Cooler?
I think Talon has some strong feelings about this, guys.
I've been some videos on it and everything. I've seen the same old comments over and over again. So,
Yeah, I completely, respect and see everything that Talon just said. And I think he's right. Everybody has different criteria for what they value in a unit, right? So if someone values more support or just like the ability to make the rest of the team better, then I think Cooler is the clear-cut choice. But if for someone else, for their criteria for best TUR is just like best solo performer, best one-man show, then I would say it's Gohan, right? Like that attack and defense, greatly raising every single turn, guarding against all attacks, getting a ton of attack on his passive, all that stuff. Like, he's just insane. And defensively, like Cooler, I mean, it's not even close between Cooler and Gohan, right? Like Cooler at the end of LGE is still taking like 40k or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but he takes a ton of damage from the harder event. So he could still potentially get you killed. Whereas Gohan, after a couple supers, this dude is just untouchable, right? Like he's not taking any damage no matter what. So to me, I think Gohan's the best TUR, or I don't know. There's another unit. I don't want to jump the gun here, but there's another unit we're going to talk about later that I think has a very strong case. But I think Gohan is better than Cooler for that reason. But of course, like I said, it's different criteria, different things people value, right? So yeah, I think he's insane.
Would you say that a banner, a unit's placement on a banner along with the supporting cast would add to its value? Masting, I think you were about to chime in. Feel free to continue on with that topic or move on with this one.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think the main thing comes down to everybody's own subjective interpretation of what best unit means. Because obviously, like Talon said, one of the big arguments for Cooler is how well he fits into other teams and how he fits with the units around him. Whereas other people will just, like Tiger was saying, they consider the best unit to be the unit's solo performance. So if you just throw him on a team under his best lead with some supports on the rotation, like who has the better attack and defense?
Yeah,
so,
it just depends on your personal.
So if you take it one way, then obviously you're going to think it's one. If you take it another way, you're going to think it's another. I think it's hard to straight up definitively say. I do lean a little bit more towards Gohan, even though I love Cooler. Cooler's one of my favorite units in the game, probably. But it was something that I said to Sunblade, who unfortunately is not here today. But when we were talking yesterday about UI Goku, I said the same thing. I'll say the same thing about Cooler as I say about STR UI Goku. And Tiger mentioned it in some of the harder, longer form events. For me personally, I can't call a unit the best unit in the game if they can get you killed in one turn from full health. And Cooler can get you killed from full health in one turn if he's the one that takes a super. Whereas Gohan won't do that. So obviously Cooler has his advantages. Like I said already, being diplomatic, I love Cooler. I went ham to make sure I got him when he came to global. But yeah, I do think that for me, Gohan ticks more of those boxes of what I consider to be the best unit in the game. So Well, best TUR, obviously, but
Gail, before we dive into the supporting cast on this banner, you, as the connoisseur of all things gacha, would you summon for this banner solely for Gohan?
Not necessarily. Well, it depends because, like you mentioned, I think it really does depend on the banner as well. Of course, I think if I recall correctly from Japan, it featured stuff like Bardock and whatnot. I think Fizz Piccolo was in there, Kid Goku, Metal Cooler, and I might be forgetting one more off the top of my head, but it's not a bad banner to say the
SDR
least.
Ultimate Gohan.
There you go. That's the one I forgot. Okay, never mind. Ignore him. Everybody forgets him anyways. It's fine. He's the forgotten Ultimate Gohan. But I think for a banner, obviously, I'm expecting Bardock to get replaced by In Future Gohan. Obviously, considering we just got Bardock, In Future Gohan's not come back in a while.
yeah, 100%.
That's my prediction. We'll see if it happens. In that sense, of course, I know not a lot of people summon for In Future Gohan because at the time people were either saving for or either spent everything on Cooler or were saving up for 5-year. So it's a good time to pick up In Future Gohan. In terms of it, if it's worth summoning, it's hard to say because, as mentioned, I think I personally feel like I think Gohan is the best TR in the game, so it's hard not to summon for him. But red coins exist in the game, so it's like you can easily just avoid this banner because you've got LR Evoken coming, you've got Jiren coming, you've got Gotenks and Buu coming, slightly better value banners in the future. So, in my opinion, I can see why it can be a skip for a lot of people, but personally, I'll probably summon because it's Gohan and it's also the best card in the game for me personally.
Leaning more into the banner itself, so we still don't know what's going to be showing up on the banner as far as global is concerned. There's obviously probably going to be some changes, but what we can talk about is the assistant unit that's going to be headlining this banner along with the Tech Ultimate Gohan. That is the INT Kibito Kai. So this unit is a big surprise for me personally because I had no idea that this guy was packing some serious heat. So he is a key +4, 100% across the board for Potara. Greatly raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage with a high chance to stun the enemy. And then key +2, attack and defense +120%, attacked enemies, attack and defense -30% for 2 turns. High chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, and recovers 10% HP at the end of the turn. That's not it. Then he transforms, because that was them separately. When they Potara together, he transforms into Kibito Kai, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and seals. Then he has key +3, attack and defense +150%, all enemies attack and defense -20%, and stuns the attacked enemy for 2 turns while also recovering 10 HP at the end of the turn. This guy is really, really good and so versatile. It really adds to the appeal to this banner. You don't even have to know what else is on the banner. This unit, honestly, if you don't get Gohan, getting this guy, not a bad consolation. What do you guys think?
Very good. Yeah, they're very good.
He's top tier.
I like this unit a lot. I love the fact that he is versatile, just like the new unit on JP. And yeah, I mean, it's just like the Invados, right, from the Kefla banner. Like, if you didn't get Kefla, that sucks. But if you got Vados, you still got a really good unit on your hands. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend people to specifically summon on the banner for this unit because they are going to be available on every single banner after the fact. But yeah, a really nice consolation prize for sure. And it does increase the value of the banner overall for me quite a bit.
Yeah, I just recorded a video or put out a video today using them. I hadn't used them at all since I got them from Gohan's banner. They are the epitome of like utility in Super Battle Road. Like, yeah. The fact that like because you can do the Potara fusion anytime they enter the battle, right? And the second you enter the battle and use the fusion, that part of this passive where it's minus 30% attack and defense on the enemies, and then stun the attacked enemy for 2 turns. That happens once, but right when you use the fusion. So if you time it right, and plus the stunning the attacked enemy can happen on just a normal attack. So you don't have to get him a super in order to stun them for 2 turns, right? So if you got him on a team and you get the debuff train going, then you don't need items to like continue on finishing off that stage for Super Battle Road. So Yeah, I would like. On paper he looks good, but it's even better when you actually get to play with him. So yeah, if you go in on the banner and don't get Gohan but get them, don't be upset because they're still going to be very good. For Majin Buu Saga, Realm of Gods, I still haven't used them on Realm of Gods. I'm going to try that later. You know, they're really really good. So
How did you pronounce that category, Nolar?
category we're talking about.
Do you mind running that back for me real quick?
Dude, I don't know, man. I whatever I said is whatever I said. You guys can run that back.
I think it's Patora.
Patora. I can't tell you how many times I've been hearing that and it's making my skin crawl. Anyway.
Did I say that? Okay.
You
Anyway.
did. You did say Patora. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that from Nolar. Come on, Topher Grace. Anyway, so is it too premature to say that Majin Buu Saga is the superior category now in the meta? Because not only are these two units coming out, but Global's also getting the TUR for the West Kai. I don't want to go over all the details for that unit, but just, you know, overall, this unit, I mean, this category has had a lot of updates recently because of the various campaigns and whatnot. Is it too early to say that Majin Buu Saga is the superior category?
Superior to like
Superior
all
to
other
what?
categories?
To all other categories.
Oh.
I mean,
definitely
Realm of
up there.
Gods, it's up there, but Realm of Gods is still getting buffs. I mean, these two units, both Kibito Kai and West Kai, literally do the same thing for Realm of Gods as well, with obviously West Kai being a support for Realm of Gods.
For Realm of Gods, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'd say it's definitely up there, especially with Vegito, Gotenks, and Super Blue. Obviously on JP, we're gonna get it in Global in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Majin Buu Saga is definitely up there, but it's hard to say between that and Realm of Gods. Both are
No, it doesn't
fantastic
beat.
categories.
I don't think it beats Realm of Gods for me. Last Resort, you're looking at Transformation Boost.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the mix, but I wouldn't say it's the best.
I think the
I would
roster is
pers-
more versatile. Like, there's Realm of Gods, you can obviously make a crazy good team. But Majin Buu Saga, you can make a really good team with a lot of variation of units, because there's just so many units in the category. But yeah, I don't think necessarily it's as powerful, but...
I mean, technically, you can do the same with Realm of Gods. You've got obviously the Beerus-specific teams. You've got obviously the Fusion / Goku and Vegetas, and then you've got the extreme side with obviously Goku Black and whatnot. So I do think there's variation still in Realm of Gods, though.
I would say personally that I think Realm of Gods is still going to be a little above the Majin Buu Saga. Again, not saying that Majin Buu Saga is a bad category by any means now, but I think the thing that Realm of Gods still holds over it is that a lot of these units have been out for a while now, and Realm of Gods has been at the top for a while, whereas Majin Buu Saga is just now reaching, we'll call it its own category of Z categories right now, right? Where you need LR, well, first off, you need LR Goku and Angel Vegeta to get the best leader for that category. And they just came out, and if you weren't able to pull them, that's a kind of a tall order for a lot of people still to get. So you've got to wait to get the coins and everything. Whereas Realm of Gods has had, 3+ leaders now with all really good leader skills and everything. I mean, Beerus, AGL Zamasu. I mean, UI Goku is, he hasn't aged the greatest, but he's still a pretty good leader skill for it. And you can easily throw him off rotation and just let everybody else do all the damage and everything. So I think I still personally put Realm of Gods above the Majin Buu Saga category, and I probably would still put Transformation Boost above it. Last Resort, those are all pretty good categories still, but it's getting up there. Give it another few banners probably. We're probably still gonna get a couple more cards unexpectedly from it, or someone's gonna get an Awakening, and it can get up there. Just it feels like Realm of Gods keeps getting buffs every single celebration, even though it's supposed to be focused on something else. So
while the superior category is in question, let's not forget that Global is the better version because we're getting tickets.
Yeah, hashtag JP Shaft.
Global
Here's the
wins
thing.
yet
The
again.
tickets are most likely going to be Pilaf's Trove only, right? So free-to-play
most
players
likely.
can't even touch those tickets, which is going to kind of suck. But I guess a lot of pay-to-play players on JP would love to have that option to buy the packs anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention you're probably
yeah.
gonna get the that first step, right? Like 100 stones gives you a guaranteed featured
discounted
unit or
multi-
something.
The first, yeah, it's gonna be three
Yeah.
steps. Three
Yeah,
steps. I think it's
do
like
you know
5
how much I would love to
units?
have
Yeah.
that? Do you know how
I think-
much I would love to have that?
No, see, that's the more exciting part. The fact
Yeah.
that it seems like every single, even regular Dokkan Fest banner has the 3 steps now with a guaranteed featured unit. Like that is crazy.
The only thing is, they have never done that and tickets at the same time, though. So because
That
we
is
know
true.
we're definitely getting tickets, I personally
Uh,
don't think we'll be getting step ups.
And to be fair,
Oh.
the two banners, I mean, we did get it with were pre-big celebrations. It was more so an incentive to summon because of those
Yes.
celebrations coming. So
Yeah,
that's why when we've discussed this, I've always been like, I'm not sure if we're gonna get it, and these tickets make me think we're not going to get it.
Well, do you guys think it's
Yeah.
going to be tickets for summons or just Pilaf Strove?
no, it'll be Pilaf Strove only.
Pilaf Strove, straight up, it'll just
Okay.
be Pilaf Strove,
Pilaf
100%.
scam for the win.
Because if you think about like Kefla, for example, like Gail was saying, was right before a big celebration, so they knew that people would be less likely to summon. So it's like, oh, we'll give them step ups with a guaranteed featured. But obviously, they keep an eye on like the social media and YouTube and stuff. Like they know people want Gohan, so people are going to summon on that banner, even if there were no discounts or tickets or anything. So
Well,
I think-
personally, I feel like Kefla was a pretty hype unit though, right? Like she's a very hype character for both.
I disagree. There's a very mixed
You don't think
response
so?
regarding Kefla.
Okay.
No, I personally like. I mean, personally, I obviously have mixed opinions about Kefla, but I'm not being biased here. I promise. But I generally like whenever when the banner just dropped, I knew a lot of people weren't planning on summoning on Kefla whatsoever, but. That purely because obviously people knew Majin Buu Saga was the celebration was going to be Majin Buu Saga. We're probably going to get 2 LRs. Everybody knew what was coming, and Kefla was a sacrifice that everybody was very much ready to give up. You know, in terms of like not summoning for her at all. But that guaranteed featured step was so nice that people did summon for her.
All right,
I mean,
guys.
We'll
Guess
just
what-
quickly put it in it.
Yeah, go
Listen
ahead. Go
there.
ahead.
To tie to your point, even though it's just Pilaf Strove, it's still a good value compared to just straight out buying stones and then summoning it. Granted, you still don't get coins because you're using tickets, but if I'm gonna do a multi for $30 instead of buying or $25 or whatever it is for the Pilaf Strove, instead of buying the $50 pack or a multi and like 40 other stones on top of it, then I'd rather do that because of value, right?
Of course,
So,
yeah.
So in terms of Pilaf Strove, that's the tickets. It's still a good thing. I absolutely agree with Ningen and Gale in the sense that like I don't know if you're gonna get that discounted step up because that seems to be the incentive to get people to summon when there's something looming on the horizon that people are saving their stones. So it's like, hey guys, you got this really cool discount. Just throw us 115 stones or whatever the total discounts adding up to be, and there's a chance you're just one stepping out. And then that's it. And then people are like, sure, I've got 300. This seems like a really good deal. I'll spend the extra 115 or whatever and try to get in. So, but everyone knows Gohan's really good, or they like They've always wanted a good Ultimate Gohan. This seems to be the trap of like, well, they think it's coming, but it's not, and they don't care. They're gonna summon anyways. So just go in, guys. So I don't know. That's just how I see it.
You guys are right. I just think about it. Yeah, Beerus came right before the 5-year anniversary, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Yep,
then
you're
and
on.
then Kefla right before the download celebration. So the fact that there's nothing really that big, at least in the near future for global,
I know of.
there might not be.
I mean,
I'm
even
just wishful thinking on my end. Like I really hope it happens. Obviously, I
Oh,
hope
for
it's a
sure.
regular
Yeah, I
thing.
hope everyone.
I think everybody hopes it happens
Speaking
because
to that
that's
whole-
a pre-featured
Speaking to that
SSR.
whole
Everybody would love
Gohan
it.
thing, though, being like this is like the be all end all, the complete Gohan, right? Because
Yeah.
everything leading up to this has pretty much been teasing what Gohan could be if all of the various pieces fit together. Now we have a complete Gohan. It's going to be really hard to skip this for a lot of people. I'm definitely
For sure.
going in.
For
And,
sure.
Yeah. I think
I'm
the
definitely going to
major-
regret it too.
the major difference when you look at the two is that I think it's hard to argue, there are absolutely people who would not have summoned for Kefla, but did because of the step ups. Whereas I don't think there's a lot of people who, if we find out there aren't step ups, are then gonna not summon for Gohan. I think most people who are planning to summon are gonna summon regardless.
Marketing 101, man. Marketing 101.
Easy money. It's
And
free real estate.
Obviously, as somebody who spends, I'm happy to get the Pilaf Trove packs. So I'm interested to see what they're going to be, because obviously previously we've had ones that were like guaranteed featured as well. So I can't wait to see what they're going to be.
And speaking of Marketing 101, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Twitch. Marketing Psychology 101. All right, moving
nice
on.
segue.
Yes.
Nice segue.
Guess what, guys? It's time. Do you know what time it is? It's
Homie
homie
time, baby.
time. It's homie time. Ooh. Ooh. We have the new best TUR in the game, actually, maybe? So, the new Frieza over on JP has just been blowing up in the Dokkan community because he's pretty insane. And where to begin? Let's just start by looking over this guy's build. He is insane. He is a Resurrected Warriors, Otherworld Warriors category lead, key +4, 150% across the board. First of all, I like his attack name, Death Psychokinesis. That sounds awesome. Raises defense, causes immense damage, and seals enemies' attack. Attack and defense +100%, plus an additional attack and defense +50 for 5 turns after receiving an attack, and a medium chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, within the same turn after receiving an attack. Attack enemies, attack and defense -30% for 2 turns. Then, he transforms. When he transforms, he becomes even more stupid. He now can do... He massively raises attack for 1 turn, causes immense damage to the enemy, and then his passive is just illegal. Attack and defense +120%, plus an additional attack and defense +80, and a great chance of stunning the attacked enemy when performing a super attack. Reduces damage received by 50% when HP is 49% or less. Guys, is this the new best TUR in Dokkan?
It's a shame that Goresh is not here.
Yeah.
You know what, Talon,
stupid meetings in real
Talon and
life,
Nolar,
Goresh,
you guys
damn
can
it,
try
come
to
on.
like channel your Goresh and maybe try to speak for him or as him. Whatever
Oh
works.
God, as a Frieza fanboy. That's a
As
little
you guys
hard.
are the residential JP players, first impressions on this unit.
Nolar, go ahead, man.
Well, okay, so I need to install and try it and try it out. But from what I've seen and what the people I've talked to, he's very, very good. Probably top 3, maybe the top unit, period. Defensively, pre-transformed, he'll stack that defense. So in long events, he's going to be really good. And even on short events like Super Battle, just a super, maybe 2, then he'll be defensively fine. And the fact that he can transform whenever he wants, I love that, because that gives you the flexibility on your playstyle. Do you need him to be the tank? You leave him untransformed. Do you need him to do some huge damage? Because what's his passive when he transforms? Is it 120 or 150?
120 attack and defense, and an additional 80%.
80 when he hits
on
supers,
super.
yeah.
Okay, so for the Dokkan math people, that extra 80 is calculated separately from the start of turn 120.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
that
It's
80 is
296.
more like, that 80 is a lot more than just 80, because it factors in at the end of the calculation. So that means he hits damn hard. So and he's got some already defensing building up on the pre-transformation. He has damage reduction if below 49%, which on Super Battle Road, it's going to happen. So he's going to be really good. So I don't know. I just think obviously he drops. When does he drop, Talon? Like in a day?
Monday. He drops tomorrow
Well,
at
daytime is
5
local,
p.m.
right?
Japan time.
5 p.m. Japan time, which is 1 a.m. my time. Yeah. So
Yep.
I think he's going to be. I got to play with him, but in my mind already he's top 3 just based on his kit.
Yeah.
Just looking, if you guys are watching at 6 million attack stats, the super attacks are okay in terms of the animations. I love his transformation though. That's for sure.
Best
Oh, yeah.
transformation of the game. Best
Yeah.
transformation
Yeah.
of the game.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
It's funny because I thought I would be the odd one out, but I kind of agree with the sentiment Nolar was going for there. Like, because the transformation to me is obviously amazing, but like both of his super attack animations, whilst they look really nice, they're kind of boring. I think.
My problem with the attack animations is that the end of the animations are lackluster. I'm not gonna lie. Like the death ball or supernova just becomes small all of a sudden at the end. And then the end of his Golden Frieza essay also just ends up with a beam, which is like, Is that
Yeah,
it?
we want
Thing. I was
bigger
expecting
explosions.
something. We want. I mean, make it a Michael Bay movie. Just make it a Michael Bay movie.
You know what it reminds me of, obviously, is the INT LR Goku Black. If you guys do his 18 key super attack and both he and Zamasu, they throw the energy ball down at the ground where the opponent is, and it's just like this ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom effect. It's just like you can just throw a giant ball of energy at this guy and it's just like fireworks going off or something.
It's fine. Just make it a rock show. It's completely fine. Go for it.
Yeah, I was expecting, because his transformation is from that bit where he first is revived with all the assassins and stuff. I was expecting him to have that crazy like multiple zipping around directions like death beams thing.
Kind of like in Golden Frieza, yeah.
Yeah, but just in the new kind of style, like with some of the stuff we've seen lately, like the current level animation for Dokkan version of that super attack would be insane.
Yeah.
Another thing that I don't think a lot of people have really realized is that this guy is not helming a brand new category. Instead, he is reinforcing. He is reinforcing two pre-existing categories. So this is actually pretty huge for me, because this means that they are capable of resisting starting a new category and actually shoring up some older ones.
New irrelevant category that nobody wants to do.
So do you guys think that these were the right choices? And do you think that this is good news for Dokkan moving forward?
100%. I mean, I even mentioned last week, I hope he's another World Warriors category lead. The fact that he's also Resurrected Warriors is just an insane help as well. And we need this going forward. We need them to revisit older categories, because some categories desperately need it. World Tournament, Earthlings, can we get some more of that as well, please? Thank you.
Dream on, man. Dream on. I gave up a long time ago.
Yeah, but no, obviously, I think, we definitely needed to revisit some older categories, especially Otherworld Warriors. Even though it's relatively new, it still needed some help in that sense, of course. No, we need more of this going forward. That's pretty much it. There's a lot of categories that need it.
I think it's awesome. I mean, the only Otherworld lead before Frieza was the INT Super Saiyan 2 Goku. So it's not like we had, a ton of leads for this category. And the fact that it's Key +4 for Resurrected Warriors is actually insane. Because Resurrected Warriors is one of the best categories in the game, in my opinion. And
a lot of LRs.
Yeah, a lot of and also the fact that sometimes you have some key issues with that team, at least in my experience, and the fact that it's Key +8 now if you're running double Friezas, right? You just get 8 key without getting any orbs. That's awesome. So I love that. Hopefully they do Key +4, 150 or 170 or whatever it is for some of the older categories, especially the ones that have some key issues. I'm totally okay with this, because who cares about a new category that's trash, right? It's better than improved current
I absolutely agree with that. And I personally, I will say, I kind of wish it was Resurrected Warriors, and I guess this will channel the inner Goresh, the most malevolent category, or whatever
that's what I was
category
gonna say,
is essentially. I kind of wish it was that. I mean, again, I like that Otherworld Warriors is getting a boost, and I even said this in my own initial impressions video that I think this is a good step in the right direction for Otherworld Warriors. But to be honest, I still just don't care about the category. I don't see myself running a pure Otherworld Warriors category, because even though we got the Awakenings, and we're going to talk about them here in a second, for the Angel Frieza and the Angel Cell, those guys require you to have a full Otherworld Warriors category team to get their second part of their passives, and I just don't really see myself running.
Do you not want to run STR PyCon?
No,
totally.
The best unit of the game.
Why you gotta disrespect the man? Come on, he'll have his time.
Well, see, I was thinking about it before we started when I was looking at the category, and I mean, I guess I could do it on Trident if the units are all on there, but I want somebody on JP to make that team, because if you look, there are 6 extreme TURs that are in Otherworld Warriors, so you can run the new Frieza, then you've got the GT Frieza and Cell, the existing Angel Golden Frieza, and then those 2 new Awakening Angel Cell and Frieza. And there you go. There's your full extreme Otherworld Warriors team. I want to see that.
Okay, can I add one point? Can you even run the new Frieza with the tech Angel Frieza? Don't they have the same name?
Actually, the tech one
yes,
does.
they do. You can't.
You can't run this.
So you can't even.
Yeah.
Well, that ruins that.
That's why I was like, can you even run them on the same team? Yeah.
I guess technically on Trident you can, because you can have the new Frieza already transformed, but
True.
But
You
then
know
you can't
what?
run the other int, the int Angel Golden Frieza then.
I think
That-
it does let you do that with the transformed ones. It's weird. I don't
Oh,
know.
you can.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh well, there you go. I guess it's the Trident video then. So Hydros, I expect to see that in the next few days.
Big shout out to Hydros for keeping things afloat on this stream. Thank you so much, Hydros.
Just one quick thing I wanted to add was like I like the fact these Otherworld Warriors because it needed help, but then I mean most of like I agree Resurrected Warriors was nice. I like gonna channel the Integrashi or like Talon did wanted to be Otherworld Warriors and Wicked Bloodline. Like I wanted those two to be to leading it because I mean Wicked Bloodline hasn't gotten a unit since Cooler, right? And he's
No.
not even leading the unit, so the category. So could use some help. You know what I mean? But overall, I mean, Resurrected Warriors, like Tiger said, E+4 is huge. Like there are a lot of LRs. You know, LR Broly. It's not saying he struggles for key, but sometimes you don't get his 18 key, right? So if he starts off at 8 instead of 6, you're a lot closer to getting him that Ultra Super. So yeah.
With the
I'm
amount
excited.
of categories, with the amount of categories that there are in this game now, there's bound to be some overlap. There's bound to be some conflicting opinions on where certain units should helm, like Wicked Bloodline versus Otherworld Warriors. Otherworld Warriors having a lot of overlap with the Resurrected Warriors. So it's inevitable to have these types of debates where you don't necessarily agree that this unit should be helming this category. But I mean, overall, you'll still be able to run everyone on everything that you want, and you'll still have a good time. But what's interesting? When you guys were talking about Golden Frieza and the units that you could run with him, you know who you can also run him with? Golden Frieza and Sorbet. Because he is the new unit that is also dropping on JP, a free-to-play unit. And I know Goresh is screaming with joy over this one, because this guy is actually really, really good for a free-to-play unit. He is a Join Forces sub-lead, key plus 250%. He causes supreme damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy. And then for his passive, attack and defense plus 120% when HP is 50% or more, key plus 6, performs a critical hit and stuns the attacked enemy within the same turn after receiving an attack, reduces damage received by 50% when HP is 49% or less. Guys, this just shoots up the bar when it comes to free-to-play units. Like, this is crazy good. This guy's free-to-play.
Yeah, he's really good. Snag this guy. Snag this guy, obviously, because he's a free-to-play unit. I'd say rainbow him. For everyone complaining that Extreme Tech needs help for Super Battle Road, here's your guy.
JP plays.
Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, this guy just, I mean, what hasn't been said about this guy, essentially? He's extremely good. Attack and defense, mitigates damage if you get below 50% HP. And then if you get hit, then 6 key critical stun, and then not to mention he stuns in the super attack. Like, yeah, this guy is. You don't even need to throw him off. You don't even need him to get hit. Just throw him off rotation if you need to, and he's gonna be that nice card you can put on the end, and you don't have to worry about him like so many other cards before him. Like he's really good.
Because he has really great synergy with the existing tech Golden Frieza. Like if we're talking about extreme tech
he
Super Battle Road,
does.
because obviously
Yes.
when you drop below 50%, tech Golden Frieza's damage reduction gets worse, and so then you can switch this guy into slot 1 instead, and now he's got the damage reduction. And yeah, if he's getting hit first, he's getting a guaranteed stun. So
Well,
I
funny
think
enough,
he's
they're both
very good
50%.
for Super Battle Road.
Well, in about 5 years, Masningen and us global players will be able to experience this unit. So look forward to that.
Hey man, I mean Gohan's banner was only just before the celebration for JP, so some.
I know.
units
I'm
are
just trying to
having
make the
wait
most out of
as
that
long.
meme before it dies, because it's very unpredictable nowadays what's coming up next. So I'm taking my moments. So just
I mean,
cut me some slack.
I love this Frieza's super attack animations.
Yeah, it's amazing. The super attack animation's amazing,
Wait.
and it's free to play. I forget that.
Yeah, that's the best part. You're like, okay, Sorbet's like the side eye to
I haven't actually
Sorbet.
seen it. I've just
You
realized.
haven't seen it? Oh man,
Oh,
I'm looking it up right now.
Wait till you see it. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's good.
All right, yeah,
It's
go.
funny.
go
It's
check
super
it
Yeah, I'm
out.
literally just watching the
Yeah.
stream. I just
Wow.
realized I've seen all of the other ones, but I didn't see his. So.
And this isn't all for JP, by the way, guys, because JP is also getting the return of 2 ancient units that have been irrelevant for an eternity. And Talon alluded to this earlier. They are now relevant and they are usable. And I'm talking about the AGL Cell and the Tech Frieza. These two units now have TUR. So we'll start with the Cell. This guy becomes an AGL type, key +3, 90% across the board lead. He raises attack and defense and causes supreme damage. His passive, attack +20%, defense +15% per key sphere obtained. All allies key +2 with 2 or more rainbow key spheres obtained. Attacks effective against all types when all allies are in the Otherworld Warriors category. So that's part 1. Part 2 of this duo is the Frieza. This guy is a tech type, key +3, 90% across the board lead. Raises attack and defense and causes supreme damage to the enemy. And then his passive, attack +120, defense +100 when performing a super attack, changes int key spheres to rainbow, reduces damage received by 40% when all allies are Otherworld Warriors category units. So these are two massive upgrades to two of the most ancient units in the game. I'm honestly super excited to use these two, because when they work together, I kind of like this duality that they have going with the GT Cell and the Frieza. They're really leaning into that more with how their two passives are built and how they work together. So what do you guys think about these two new updates, and what does this mean for the future of the pack rat mentality when it comes to saving these old units for future upgrades? Mass Ninja, we'll start with you.
Well, so one thing I was going to say that is interesting for me, and you, like you saying yourself, you can't wait to try them. Well, these are two units that are before their awakenings anyway. They came out later on JP and they made them better. So when they get their awakenings on global, are they going to be the same? Because JP never got the fully upgraded version of Physical Goku Black, which I feel like they could have just added with his EZA. So he is still technically better on global. So at the moment, we actually have no idea what these guys will look like when they awaken on global, because they're completely different in their pre-awakened form on JP, which is going to be kind of interesting. I'm hoping we get them exactly the same, because yeah, they both seem really good. But
it was that Goku Black discrepancy. How long ago was that?
Oh, I don't know. It was ages ago now.
That was ages ago.
I'd like to think that that's not going to be a thing now, right? Because they've kind of streamlined their whole system and how they revamp units and all that, right?
Here's the thing. For the Extreme Z Awakening, they could have easily given JP, the same like passive after EZA. So it's weird they didn't change that. So I'm thinking there's a chance that the global one might be worse after Awakening, or different.
Probably different, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, who really knows what they're gonna do? I thought if I was in charge and I was gonna be lazy and be like, well, just make it the same at this point. We're
might as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the most logical thing to do, but we're talking about a Kotsky.
That's Kotsky.
That flies out the window when you're.
How many times do these conversations end with that sentence?
A lot, unfortunately.
It's like saying it is what it is,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It be like that sometimes.
It really do.
Well, I really like hearing when Mass Ningen says that. So this brings into question the whole thing about the pack rat mentality, as I mentioned before, because there's always a chance that a unit that isn't relevant can become relevant later on. And for a lot of people, including myself, I've always struggled with that balancing act of wanting to save everything while also having to realize that there's not enough room for every unit. So with these two units now getting such massive upgrades, whether or not they look the same on global, it's still the same question across the board. Do you guys think that it is worth saving at least one of every single unit in this game with the potential for them to get some sort of an upgrade in the future? Or do you think that there's still some sort of a gray area that needs to be explored to really figure out who's potentially going to be getting what in the future?
I mean, we were talking about this off camera a couple days ago. A couple days ago, and like that's just so crazy to me, the fact that like you were like bobbing some units that like you weren't using before.
I literally used to sell these. This is one of the first units I got when I started playing Dokkan. I sold these. I didn't even bob them.
That is crazy to me, because I've always been of the mindset that like you got to keep every single SSR, at least every single summonable SSR that you can get, because number one, you don't know if you can pull more. I mean, if you summon a lot, you obviously probably will, but for summonable SSRs, like you don't know if you're gonna get more, and they can always get either good awakenings for ones that don't have Dokkan awakenings or Extreme Z awakenings, right? And we've seen in the past couple of years, like how much better these units become right after Extreme Z
Mhm.
Awakening. So in my opinion, I mean, you got to keep everything, right? Even if units seem bad now, like they're always gonna there's gonna be upgrades. There's gonna be Extreme Z Awakenings in the future, and you don't want to be sad that you sold your unit for a couple Baba points when you could have a really good unit on your hands, right?
Yeah,
You could
exactly.
also look at it the
Yeah,
other
100%.
way, though, because if you, I mean, again, I personally try to keep as many units as I can now, ever since EZAs are introduced. But maybe if you're more of a new player, or you're a player who just, you only use 1 or 2 teams, I can see the argument for, if you get a Frieza or a Cell card, but you're only running Realm of Gods and, I don't know, some Goku family team, right? I can see that. If you're that type of player, then I can see the argument for that. I do agree for the most part that keeping most cards should be a priority thing for most people, because again, people can't get Awakenings obviously, and then they get EZAs. Sometimes though, they're not going to. SSJ2 Trunks, anybody? Just putting that out there.
How about
yeah.
FDR real though?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Whenever we get that GT celebration, I'm calling it.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
we all
pretty
did that
much.
for year 4, but yeah.
It's true. This is true.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, I think EZA is the thing that absolutely changed the game, because I feel like before EZAs were a thing, if you've been playing the game for a while, and obviously like you're used to being on Twitter or in like groups where you're chatting like team building and all that kind of stuff, like once you're in depth with the game, I feel like there was this certain tier list, or at least in your mind, of like if you pull certain SSRs, you knew that they were just trash. But now that EZAs are a thing, like we've seen, units can go from being terrible to being insanely good. So now I just keep everything, and I normally get like, because like if I know I'm not going to use a unit, I won't use Kai's on it or anything. So obviously, if I end up pulling it multiple times, I open the paths and then just use those extra copies as Kai's. But then yeah, certain units now, I've even started to keep spares, and like I've got some units that have like a spare one at Super Attack 5, and we don't even know if they're going to get an EZA.
I
just
do the
because
same.
They
I do
might
the same.
do. So
'Cause I just assume that every single unit that doesn't have an EZA will eventually get an
yeah,
Extreme Z
exactly.
Awakening.
And then obviously there's some that we do know about. Like I have a copy of all of the 120 leaders at Super
Yep.
Attack
Oh,
5
jeez.
ready for when they get their EZAs. But yeah, like there's certain other units that you just don't know. Like obviously I've talked about it quite a lot. I've tweeted about it before, but like I don't even know how many Marseillans I have spare now, and I have the 77 medals ready. So as
I
soon
don't
as he
think you're
gets his
allowed.
EZA,
I don't think you're allowed to get rid of any of those. Like you're just a horrible person if you do, Mass Saiyan.
yeah, I think I've got like 9 spare.
You know what's funny? I think I've come to a good balancing act when it comes to this whole thing, because since I'm a global player, I'm at least able to use the JP news as sort of like an early warning system to know, all right, this one's on my radar, don't get rid of this, or look out for this. Perfect example is with Talon, actually. When Talon found out about the Gem Shop Cooler EZA, I remember he was frantically doing these streams to get the gems required to buy the unit. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was the perfect situation that speaks to the whole advantage of having a global account, because I knew from that point global was going to get this eventually, and I was able to spend more time building up my gem count. I had enough, but it just speaks to the fact that like, let JP have their time. They'll experience everything first. We get that stuff later on. But we get to prepare.
They're the beta testers.
They're the
Yeah,
beta testers.
we literally
We're
are
getting the real version of the game.
Yeah,
That's why global.
we all get the bugs. Yeah, we all get the bugs, and then you guys get the fixes. Of course, you don't get the compensation for the fixes. But-
True.
We get tickets.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
Again, hashtag JP shafted. All right.
Yeah.
Global
Although,
shaft
to
is
be
a myth,
fair,
folks.
to be fair with the gem story, though, I mean, it's basically just to a fact where, though, with link leveling, like I've been doing link leveling since it came out, and again, I know I'm an extreme case before because I do content creation and everything, but even if you do just some level of link leveling on stage 23-8, you're actually going to get a lot of those gems ready
Mhm.
for if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a global player
Yeah.
ready for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So.
Mhm.
Yep.
Just-
I decided to buy the 4 extra copies to rainbow that barbershop tech Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, just because I realized I had like 9,000 gems and nothing to do with them.
Yeah, I can SA10 him and get 4 copies of him and still have leftover gems now. So.
Out of curiosity, for the hardcore link levelers, how many gems have you gotten because of the link leveling?
I think I'm at 11K right now.
Okay.
I think I'm at like
Ningen?
7K. I'm not even hardcore, and I'm at 7K.
Yeah, I
not-
was. Gone.
I was just gonna say I'm at 3.5 to 4K as well, not doing that much.
Yeah, like I say, I was at like 9K, but then I just decided to spend a load because I feel like since the cooler got one, we never know now which ones of those guys could get easy A's. So I just bought a bunch of them and started training them up. But
Yeah, I mean, I by mistakenly bought Chaozu thinking it was cooler. I'm not gonna front. I did it even on stream, and I was like, wait, did I just buy Chaozu instead?
You know, they look kind of similar. They look kind of similar.
So,
I mean, can't do much about that.
Before we completely deviate from the topic of inventory management, box space management, Tiger's video actually was what brought me to this whole topic about the JP update that's coming up. 4.12.0, the JP update, and Global will eventually get this, has to do with inventory management as well as something else regarding orbs. So this is actually a really cool update. So we should probably talk about this. We'll start with the box space portion. Now it appears that Kai's, statues, and I believe other miscellaneous unusable cards will no longer factor in to your box space total, which means this whole situation that we've been having with saving units, the whole pack rat mentality, can now kind of be more realized because you'll have more flexibility in your box space. So does this change your guys' approach when it comes to saving units? Because for me personally, I would actually rationalize in my mind, all right, you know what? I'm going to throw 10 green Grand Kais at this useless PyCon because I'm running out of space. I got a whole bunch of units coming in and I got to get rid of it. So what do? I'm going to give it to PyCon. Have you guys had to have that situation in your respective accounts, and does this change your approach at all?
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing. There were like farmable units that I could have, spent the time to farm, but I was running out of box space. I was like, I can spare the Kais, so I just gave them Kais, so I would have some more box space. But like I said before, like I still keep every single unit, right? Even if they're bad right now, so it doesn't really change anything from that perspective. But I do think that it's an awesome update, obviously, because I know people that have like hundreds of Kais. Like 400 or 500 Kais just in their box eating up space, which is stupid, right? So now the fact that like you're just gonna get that space to get to have more usable units in there is awesome. And yeah, I mean, as far as my approach, nothing really changes.
Gale?
No, I completely agree. I think I've never really had a I have to kind of get rid of some units. I mean, I think I did like in the first couple of months of playing Dokkan when box space, team cost, all of it was a lot more constrained back in the day. But recently it's not been that much of an issue. But no, it's all obviously very, very nice. It allows you to get a bit more freedom if you want to farm a lot more units in terms of preparing for future banners and whatnot. It's just it's definitely a nice quality of life feature that's being added for sure.
And then of course the other part of the update, which I didn't mention yet, was the fact that the orb preview has changed. So this actually is a huge update because it takes the math out of the equation for a lot of people, and it adds more simplicity to the game for several, for people who may not necessarily want to spend the time to calculate double values and things like that. But now when you are about to click on your stream of bubbles and it's about to burst and all that, it shows you the projected total, not projected, it's going to show you the actual total of key you're going to be earning from that stream. So I think that is a huge underrated adjustment that they're adding into the game for a lot of players that don't really want to think about that kind of stuff, or who might accidentally think that they're going to get an Ultra Super, but they don't. They miss it by one. I think that's also a huge, huge bonus to this game.
Yeah, I think a huge one is the LR Super Saiyan 4s, because for anyone, especially us global people, because we've only just got it, for people that have been doing the Extreme Super Battle Road stages, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, you want to get that 18 key super so he actually has defense. And then they get 4 key from same type orbs and 3 key from rainbows. So I multiple times have looked at the stream of orbs and gone, oh yeah, that's an 18 key super, and then I get 17 key.
Oh, it's the exact opposite. I literally never have to think about Super Saiyan 4s. I just push 2 buttons and I've got an Ultra Super. 2 bubbles, that's it. Always. Somehow.
For sure. I mean, for Goku, it doesn't really matter because he raises defense on both 12 and 18, but it is more important for Vegeta, definitely. And I love this update too. Obviously, it's not something that was absolutely needed, because you could have, done the quick maths and done the calculation yourself. But
yeah,
It's just
nice
it's just
to
one of those
have.
quality of life changes that makes your life easier as a Dokkan player, and less room for error, like Ningen said. So I think it's great too.
Yeah, just it's not absolutely needed. I think the most like pertinent update they need to bring is, of course, the friend system, which we
Oh, God.
all hacked to death.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
but like this one is more of like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Like when they propose, you see the screenshots, you see the news, you're like, oh, that's actually a good idea. Like I'm glad we have it. I'm not glad we don't have it. You know, so those are always nice. But I would forgo all of this if they just gave me a good friend system.
I know, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is one of those things. It's like not in any way necessary, but it's just a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that friend system. Oof. We could do a whole episode about that.
Yeah, all they gotta do is just give us a mirror friend.
I know, right?
It's almost like someone else we know has already done that. I think his name is Hydros. Is that right? I think he's done something like that on his little project. I'm not sure though. You got it.
Honestly, though, it is the craziest thing to this. Like, obviously, we're not going to go off on that whole topic right now, but it just still strikes me as the craziest thing that, like, we know from previous examples that even if they don't listen to everything we say and like take direct advice from us, they at least monitor like what's going on in the community. So they must know, like people have said in like, you know, previous videos about certain units. It's like, oh yeah, this unit's really good, but don't summon for him because you're never going to be able to run his team. Like if they want us to be summoning for all the new units, then yeah, we need that ability to actually run their teams.
I think they're just being stubborn, to be honest. I think they changed it that one time and then they're not going to change it again because they think they're right with it, but I don't know.
It feels like an effort thing. It feels like, you know, this is a bigger, like the friend system would be a bigger change or a bigger overhaul compared to like, you know, giving us a different UI, like for the orbs or whatever. So they're like, oh, you know what, we'll just keep you satisfied with like minor, like good changes, but like that big one you want, you know, we're not going to do it.
I mean, to be absolutely fair to them, I mean, at least Toon thought that the friend system was always this friend system when it was much, much worse than year one.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh,
That's what I've been told.
was horrible.
Yeah,
Pre-3 was horrible.
You couldn't, like, to set your lead was you had to have your lead of the team you just used. That was your friendly.
Yep, so somebody asked you to set a leader for them, and then like half an hour later you decided to play a random stage with a different team, and they hadn't used him yet. Your leader was now somebody else.
I can imagine the arguments that come from that.
Yeah, it was not fun. So at the very least, we give them credit where there has been a little bit of progress. We'll say that. It's not where we want it to be, but yeah, so...
Yeah, I mean, we could totally talk about this on every single show because this will always be a topic of discussion. But we will end it right there. So with this marks the end of the first half, but don't go anywhere. We are not done yet because up next, after a short break, we will be taking your questions and answering them live on stream. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. You guys should be following 59 Gaming on Twitter because that is the best way to stay in touch and so that you can be a part of the question and answer segment on each of these shows. Because a couple of days before these streams, we post a little something for you guys on Twitter, and you guys can ask your questions there. So make sure to follow us on 59 Gaming's official Twitter at 59Gaming1 so that you can be a part of the action. So we will begin with the first question brought to us by Ultra. What do you think is the best aged unit, an EZA or non-EZA, out right now, and what unit is most likely to introduce a new meta in the game?
Best aged unit, non-EZA, probably physical cooler. And then EZA, I mean EZA, non-EZA, and then EZA unit, probably physical Vegeta Blue, honestly. Or Janemba. Well, he had the biggest jump in my opinion.
I think, based on my understanding of the question, Vegito Blue's EZA just came out, right? So if we're talking about like something older, like an older EZA, Janemba's EZA is pretty damn old at this point. He's still amazing. So I would go with Janemba for the best age unit.
Also, if we're talking about non-EZA, does that count LRs as well? Because I'd like to throw in LR STR VB in the mixer as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's really good.
For a free-to-play unit, he's still outstanding, quite frankly speaking.
Can I rip the free-to-play side for a second? Can I say STR Vegito Blue, the LR one?
That's what I said.
I did not hear that at all.
I said LRVB.
No, it's my point now.
I love
no, that's mine now.
Nobody heard this, so great. Thank you, Discord, you piece of... I'm sorry, Neil. I'm so sorry.
No, you good.
Cut you out.
I just got confused.
Discord straight up cut you out, dude. I heard none of that.
That's what he's claiming, guys. He's claiming that, but
Hey, man, put you out, all right?
You're good. But yeah, no, I like to put STRVB in the mix. He's still one of the better free to play units, and
I agree with you.
He's
I think it's
aged quite well.
Mm-hmm. The second part of the question is kind of tough. Like, what was it? What unit will usher in a new meta?
I don't think he means like a meta as in like a leader skill or anything like that, but in terms of like utility, at least in my mind, utility for a card, like what they can do.
The new Frieza is like kind of different because he's just so versatile, right? You can literally use him at any event, shorter events, long events. He's good for both because for longer events, just let him, stay final form Frieza for a while and build up that defense. And then for shorter events, if it's only a couple appearances you're going to have, then just pop that active skill immediately. And he's off to the races, right? He's destroying everything. So, you could kind of say that the new Frieza might be ushering a new era of like units that are going to be, very versatile, are going to be good for any length of event. Whereas like in the past, maybe some units were better for longer events, some for shorter, but not as good for longer. This guy is just good for all types of events.
Speaking of Frieza, nice segue, Tiger. Let's move on to the next question because it's all about Frieza. So this question comes from Dan King War. Do you think the Frieza and Sorbet could possibly EZA from a normal event like they did with the second form Frieza last year?
I think they are doing that a lot more, but I think since we literally just had like 3 free-to-play units come out and get EZA straight away, I would guess not, but you never know.
He's already very good. Like, he doesn't need an EZA.
All right.
Well, okay, hold on a second. I was reading some stuff that people don't think he's very good defensively when he's 50% HP or higher. Like, he just doesn't have good defense overall, so he still gets hit kind of hard. So if they were going to give him an EZA, that would shore that up a little bit from the criticisms that I've heard and read. But I don't know. To Ningen's point, like, they gave us 3 units that got EZAs and so I don't know. I just want some regular EZAs, period. Come on, game.
How long has it been since that happened?
Super 17.
Super 17.
Yeah.
Like, and look, again, they don't have to just keep shoving Dokkan Fest EZAs at us, like any unit, like there's so many cards that need EZAs, period, right? So
Kaioken, Goku, and Pycon, please.
Yeah.
100%.
That would
No,
help
that
the World Warriors.
exactly. That would have
mentioned.
been the perfect. This would be the perfect opportunity to get those two guys in EZA because it kind of fits thematically, right? But again, you're thinking logically, and this is a Koski, so
I gotta say, Hydros, you are killing it with these like subtle segues because the next question has to do with EZA. So thank you, Hydros, for organizing this the way that you did. I'm just gonna give you credit where credit may not be due, but you know what? You're doing so much for this show already, so you deserve it. Thank you. Platty. Well, you know what? I'm still giving you the credit. Platty Stephen Hype asks the question: do you think it's too early to start expecting summonable LR EZAs? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the best opportunity would
Don't.
probably be an anniversary or next download celebration.
Come on.
I don't
No.
know. I don't know if it is too early because if you look
No.
at some of the worst ones, like like STR Broly and LR Majin Vegeta, they just updated his super attack, but you'd never use him because he's unusable in all of the like difficult events in the game. So EZAs, I always feel like EZAs should be for taking units that are just like not usable anymore and making them usable again. And like some of the early summonable LRs are just really not good anymore. So
I feel
Well, my
like
thing
playing with
is-
fire with that. If you go into
Yeah.
LR summonables, that's a dangerous precedent. Go ahead, Tiger.
No, I was just saying. For me, it's like the longer we wait, the better their EZAs can be. And if they were to EZA them right now, I feel like the changes would be fairly minimal because a lot of these guys still hit really hard. So it would really just be like a little bit more defense that they need to make them usable, right? But if we wait for like a year and a half, or whatever it may be, which is what I think is when I think it would start in like a year or so, then they would be even better, right? So I think it's too early. I mean, I personally don't want it right now because I mean I just think it's too early, but I do agree with Ningen in the fact that like yeah, some of them do need EZAs at least for their defense.
yeah, because that's what they did with, I think it was when they brought out the 7 Battlefield EZAs. A lot of them,
Yep.
the main thing that they changed was just giving them defense because
For sure.
the older cards, like, just you didn't used to get a lot of defense. And that's the thing. We've got units that are so crazy now, like the new LRs from the Celebration, LR Jiren. Like, they could give someone like LR Majin Vegeta an update to put him on the level of like those kind of units, and then he'd be usable for like the foreseeable future as well. Whereas now, like, I think it's super nice that they made his super attack look cool, but I'm never going to see it because I can't use him.
I'd rather take the SDR Majin Vegeta. That I'd like. He's the better Majin Vegeta card.
He
there
is.
right now.
Yep.
For sure.
So, well, I mean, in terms of some of the LR EZAs, I think like the. Okay, so here's just a tangent kind of question. The first EZA, the Dokkan Fest one, was the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. How does he stack up today? Because when he got his EZA, he was like really good. But do you think he fell off?
Yeah, I mean compared to
Nah,
other
you can-
He's still
kinda, but he's still
good. He's not amazing.
No, he's not great. Like especially if compared to some of the better ones, right? Like Vegito or Janemba or anything like that. Like he is definitely underwhelming in comparison.
I think the problem with him is that the way they've made him is still stuck to that whole 7 turns thing, and with Dokkan adding so many long term content, I guess you could say, or longer content, he's just faded away as a result. And even with SBR becoming so much harder, or harder quote unquote, them just buffing the stats of the enemies, it's not represented well with Super Saiyan 3 Goku compared to say Janemba or physical VV.
All right.
Okay, so the reason why I threw it out there, just to finish off the tangent, was because for Tiger's point, he's like, I'd rather wait to make them easier so they're a bit better. Well, then Super Saiyan 3 Goku, is that the example you're trying to like prove? Like, okay, he was the first EZA back then. Well, how long ago was that? Like year and a half, 2 years ago when he got his EZA. He was pretty decent, but today he's not so good. So if you extrapolate that and apply it, like, oh, we get an summonable LR EZA now, well then they could have been they won't be relevant in another year or two.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the point I was trying to make. Yeah, I just feel like if they were to, let's say they just decided, yeah, like right now we're gonna EZA Broly. He's obviously gonna be better, but I feel like they would be fairly light on the improvements. Yeah, it would be minimal improvements, and I feel like if we just waited, a year or so, it'd be much bigger changes to the unit. Especially because by then we're probably gonna have units that like routinely hit like 10 million.
Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Nicolo brings us another one, and he asks, any idea on what banner/celebration we could get during the new year for JP? I'm hoping for a Saiyan Saga celebration with a dual Dokkan banner featuring a new Vegeta and Goku. Do you guys have any other ideas?
Super Saiyan 4 Goku, baby Vegeta. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, baby Vegeta, please. That's GT. I need my SSJ 4 Gogeta and Shinchan on next data download celebration for the love of God. No, I'm hoping they go into that GT route with New Year's being the first of the sagas, then sometime in between New Year's and then whenever the data download comes, we could get a Hellfighter 17 and then jumping straight into that. That's the hope. So yeah, that's my punt.
Anybody else have any dream celebration banners? Anything?
For New Year's, it's usually Super and Extreme, right? Dual Dokkan Fest. So,
Bojack and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Let's do it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm on board with Bojack.
Super Saiyan 2 Gohan for crying out loud.
I would find that, to be honest.
I'm not opposed to that whatsoever.
I mean, at least this Super Saiyan Gohan, if he's transforming, will have a better condition, hopefully.
Wouldn't take
he could have-
much. It would not
he could have
take much.
He could have a partner super attack with Goku as well, because of the bit in the movie where Goku
Oh
appeared.
yeah.
Like,
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Mm.
With that
basically
black and
better.
blue hairstyle too. Yeah. That
He'll
armor
basically
would
be a
clean.
better age of Super Saiyan Gohan, is what we're saying here. That's all we're saying here.
All right, y'all. Moving on to the next one, we have a question from Shablam. It seems to be leading to a Tournament of Power anniversary. Do you think it's possible we'll get an exchange unit, Dokkan Fest exclusive LR rather, than a transforming one? Example, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. I can't believe I just read that. Royal Blue runs out of energy and gives it to Goku, who goes Ultra Instinct Sign and later transforms into Mastered Ultra Instinct. God Topo, Jiren, full power, Jiren. What do you guys think?
I back it. I mean, I was hoping that would be the case for the TOP anniversary, I was hoping for a TOP anniversary because, again, I'll come back to the whole point. It leads into the possibility of GT being the data download celebration, but that's besides the point. But I think it's a good way to also round up the TOP anniversary, the TOP stuff that they've been doing lately with Evo, Ken, Jiren, obviously Frieza right now. And it also hopefully means that, assuming they do something with Heroes in November and make it a lot bigger than it has been in the past, we could obviously then jump straight into Heroes after the TOP anniversary is over, and they can go and start doing Hero stuff possibly.
All right. And for the final question brought to us by Urhaturn. I don't know how to say that. Urhaturn. Sorry. How y'all feeling about the blue fusions at this moment? Very simple question. I like it.
I still think they're good.
I still think they're very good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, what I could see why people, ask that question is, they're not amazing on Super Battle. They can be sufficient.
It's
but
the
now
defense.
you have, yeah, but now you have units like the Mystic Gohan or Ultimate Gohan, where he's amazing on long events and short events, right? So I can see why they're like, oh well, they're not as good, which I guess you could objectively see it that way, but they're still good units. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're both very impressive. I mean, obviously in longer events, that's where they shine, and when you get them fully stacked up, like they're doing some crazy stuff. Like with max sync levels and stuff, you're getting like over 10 million attack or whatever for both of them.
Casual 10 million, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, no, it's just casual, and especially with like the additional, like the active skills and all that stuff, it can get pretty crazy offensively. But the main issue with them obviously is defense, and even when they're fully like maxed out, their defense is still like not good enough in certain events, right? Like for LGE, like you're still gonna take a ton of damage if you get supered. So I think that's the problem with them. And yeah, I think for that reason, since like all these units now that are coming out are like good for, like defense and offense, not just offense. They definitely like aren't, to me, like when they first came out, they were the best units. They're definitely not the best units anymore, but I would still put them in my top 10, I would say. But yeah, because they do lack, some defense, they're not as good as they were when they first came out, I guess.
Yeah,
So
still
what you're
amazing.
saying is the EZA for the Blue Fusions, right?
Yes.
But yeah, like I don't think I've used them in I don't even know how long. Like since we pretty much wrapped up all the anniversary stuff, I haven't even started link leveling either of them yet. So
Damn.
Wait, I maxed them out before you?
yeah, I literally I haven't used them since pretty
Sweet.
much since the anniversary ended.
He's been
I've
preparing
been
for his Super 17, man. That's what he's preoccupied with.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was busy leveling Great Ape Turles to level 10. Come on.
Oh my
Hey.
god.
All
Dude,
those videos.
leveling the giant sucks. Really sucks because you're like, oh, you're gonna go giant now. Great.
Imagine wasting your time leveling the links on giant units. I can't.
Hey, it was for a video. It was fun.
Hey man, respect the grind for all the content, of course.
Exactly.
All right, and with that marks the end of the show. If you guys want to be a part of the action next week, make sure you follow us on Twitter. There you can post your questions when we post out the announcement for the upcoming show, and you guys can join the festivities. We will wrap up this week's show. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thank you to Hydros for manning the boards and keeping this stream going. You are the man, dude. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us over on Twitter and follow us on Twitch, because later on tonight we will be doing another stream of Among Us. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And if you missed any part of this show, fear not, because all of your favorite podcasting platforms will have you covered. Google, Apple, Spotify, many more, about 24 hours after this show airs. So make sure you guys subscribe and don't skip a beat. Join us right here tomorrow for another episode of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast. If you guys are big Legends players, you don't want to miss that. For Tiger, Talon, Mass Ningen, Gale Riot, and Nolar, I am ToonRami. Thank you so much for watching once again. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly. We are out.